Anyway, one of the reasons that I liked very much that we organized a meeting in a beautiful place in the time that there are still few absolutely fantastic researchers and presenters. And I am talking now about the people who were speaking in the external control of human extremities part. And then we had a discussion with Rehab Week, so altogether is here. As you can see, the title, External Control of Human Extremities 1 to 10, is something that brought me in the field, and I was lucky enough with this brought into the field by Rajko Tomović, who could, through my eyes, get a little more attention on what was happening and how this was all brought in. So I will start with some anecdotes, because I like to talk anecdotes. Rajko Tomović came with an idea, and he was delegated by Yugoslav Society for Electronics, Telecommunication, nuclear sciences, and automatics to create a link, and he did a fantastic job in collecting and connecting people from Russia, Poland, Japan, and many other places. Specifically, this happened in the field of external control of human extremities, which at that time, and that's early 60s, was extremely important because there was a medicine which women were taken to better survive a terrible life when they were pregnant. And that's the reason that many were taken medicine, and because of that, there were thousands of children born without extremities, or better to say, with very short extremities. Because of that, an enormous amount of money was invested into developing new technologies and trying to improve the life of children just born so that they have their extremities. Many of you don't know about that, but when that happened is actually they were born, they had extremities, but instead of having the complete arm or complete leg, they had a very short extremity, and the fingers were coming directly out of the body. So this effort started, money was invested, and one of the things that Tomović proposed was to create external control of human extremities, which was organized for the first time in the town of Popović, and then afterwards this was organized in the town of Dubrovnik, and it was going for 10 times starting in 1962, and the last meeting was in 1990. Actually, I had crazy ideas that the world and the changes in the world and the war that were happening will not prevent me, because I inherited the organization of that meeting, but I was terribly wrong, or whatever. Based on all that, I just wanted to remind you about some things that are extremely important. We heard today names like Jim or James Resnick. Jim Resnick is an absolute genius in what he was developing in his life. And when I say that he was an absolute genius to do that, he invented, for example, a golden arm, 6 degrees of freedom robot that was used by people with, that's one thing. Then the second thing that happened there, which he did, is he actually started putting together a society that will bring together scientists into a nice place where people will be discussing what they want to do and how they want to. So the meeting in Dubrovnik was organized at the beach. That beach was a beautiful beach in front of Hotel Excelsior, and we heard a few details about that. But Tomović was extremely bright in sense how to bring people to spend the time and talk about that. And one of the things he did, he had always the afternoon session at the beach, so people can talk and do things that they like. One of the persons who came first in the first meeting was in Opatija, was Jim Resnick. When Jim Resnick came to the meeting, it was really interesting because he was the man with energy, and one of the disciplines that he really invested a lot of his energy was in female. And because he was so much interested in female, he, as a diplomat from the United States, fell in love with the secretary of the meeting. But when he fell in love with the secretary of the meeting, they disappeared. So that's not really a very good situation. You have a communist country, and you have a scientist, and the secretary of the meeting, and one of the important scientists, they disappear. But very fortunately, they reappear, although not during the seminar, but about 2 weeks later. So he really started establishing communication, good communication between science and life, and he was trying to improve the life, so from whatever side you want to look at that. The first meeting that took place in Opatija had several very well-known individuals, not necessarily in the field of rehabilitation. Norbert Wiener was there. So Norbert Wiener, who was a little bit overweighted, he decided that he likes to swim, and he jumped in the water at the beach in Opatija, and he started drowning. So about 7 people succeeded to pull him out, and that's good for mathematics and development of cybernetics. After that, he actually wrote the book. Then there were other things which were phenomenal in the sense of what was developing there. You start to learn that there are individuals who know much more than we would ever think. But in this atmosphere, at the beach, with some good wine, with some good food, and with extremely clever people, the field started being developed. One thing that I have to say is that many of people who were there, they were actually not aware of what needs to be done, but nevertheless they were there and they produced phenomenal results. Just to continue on how that was developing, when Jim Resnick came at that meeting, he actually disappeared completely and he only returned back to the scene like 3 weeks later. So you can imagine the diplomatic scandal where someone who is from diplomacy disappears from the meeting. But anyway, that was not what I will be talking. I will continue with this. This image is, as you can see and read, from Dubrovnik, although it's written Dubrovnik, in 1975, and this is the sixth meeting of external control of human extremities. So I may show you, do you know who is this? Vodovnik. This here, Rajko Tomović. Well, let me find someone else that they may recognize also here. Alois Kralj, Uroš Stanić. So those are the people who are talking today, and they were the main presenters. So such a long time afterwards. A lot of free time at the beach, in front of a restaurant, and some of the people that I mentioned already. This is Jim Resnick and his wife, and that's the one patient in California with the Rancho Golden Arm. This was one of the reasons that all of this started being developed in Yugoslavia. That's the Belgrade hen. And this image is from 1963. This is Rajko Tomović, and this is his wife. And they were actually brought the spirit to the meetings so that they can really enjoy that. Many things that you see there are coming actually from you see, one of the reasons that things started developing in these external extremities is that's the device which is called Phony Pony, the first automatic control 4-leg vehicle that was made and designed together with Bob McGee, and it was designed that you have machines that can walk over planets and make recordings or whatever is needed from there. So starting from that, things changed, and one of the most important individuals who contributed to the exoskeleton story is late Professor Milomir Vukovratović, and his major story, which is zero moment point. And what you can see here is that on the zero moment point, that is actually the point that is used in every single robotic research for stabilizing robots to walk. So this is most frequent citation someone has when he or she is designing robots. He created this idea, and this is as far as I know, the first walking patient with an exoskeleton. Popović and his team in Pupin Institute, they built several of these devices with electrical actuators, as well as whatever. I will just talk over that. This is me. This is my favorite colleague and friend, Schwirtlich. And this is the first orthosis shown in Dubrovnik in 1984. In 1984, powered self-fitting orthosis, 6-channel electrical stimulation, 3 per leg. This patient was using that for quite some time. We talk today also about the electrical stimulation, and here is Vladimir Liberzon, the man who brought some of the devices. Liberzon was at the first meeting also in Dubrovnik, and he opened the whole thing. Some of these meetings were actually very honored by the presence of President of the Republic, who actually stayed for almost one dinner. Then was Vodovnik here. That's myself, that's Barbara, and here in the corner, you may see Uroš Stanić. Uroš Stanić was key for the formation of the electrical stimulation. Here, Vodovnik, Liberzon, Kralj, Primož Strojnik, Uroš Stanić. Without these individuals, I'm absolutely sure that we would not have devices like we have them today, and thinking. That's the patent of Liberzon, which I will go into detail. But based on these patents and other things, the devices were made. This is the Ljubljana electrical stimulator, which we had at disposal in Belgrade, and where we had many experiments with 2x2 service for standing and walking, and obviously this, what is extremely interesting in addition. That's one of the basic things that Alojz Kralj was talking today. Here is Alojz Kralj, Rajko Turk physician, and one of 112 patients who are presented and described in the book Functional Electrical Stimulation, written by Alojz Kralj and Tadej Bajić. Out of that work, Kralj was talking about his stay in the United States, and while he was in the United States, this is 85-6, the system was developed by Graupe and others, which is completely based on a system that Kralj was making. It's a 6-channel stimulator, and this is the first system ever designed and approved for a clinical use for the therapy of paraplegic subjects who stand and walk. One of the most important developments that had a different track was that they used in the system implanted electrodes, 16-channel stimulator, 64 electrodes, everything pre-programmed. So this is a time schema, and this was done after research which was fantastic. Byron Marcellet was the key person behind that. So in the case, what's happened out of all of that is that electrical stimulation became a tool for neurorehabilitation, neuromodulation, and prevention of secondary complications. All of those that are greatly contributing to the protection and prevention of secondary. Only later, people realized, and Dimitrievich presented it later today, how important is corticomotor reorganization, because it accepts everything with electrical stimulation and training due to persons who have central nervous system injury. Things that you can see nicely in a paper that was published in 1997, Nudo presented that if you have an injury in a brain, then if you have an elbow and shoulder that are representing with this point in the brain, and that's the region that is related to the hand, then if you don't have rehabilitation, you will have a decreased zone for the hand, and the functioning will be decreased. If you use lesion with rehabilitation, you see that the zone is increased, and there is only one little zone that's not activated, which gives you a chance to think that it might be that there will be not only instant effect, but also the carry effect of all of that. This was later tested, and there's an excellent paper which shows why this is all possible. That's a typical curve in stroke patients which shows the improvement when you have in different categories. And what he suggested is that when you have an injury, your brain will be sleeping. Because your brain is sleeping, there will be no improvement and no recovery function. He also suggested that if you give an assignment, which can be done with surface stimulation, implanted stimulation, or with any similar reactions, you increase the activity of the brain and you greatly increase the red line, cardio recovery. The second aspect that I didn't say at the beginning is that electrical stimulation is a tool for reducing consequences of paralysis, and that is to say that it will prevent disuse, atrophy in peripheral systems. It will decrease the spasticity, which may assist you in regaining a better function. It will definitely prevent contractures and leave that the function, mobility, range of movement, and everything is not there. It will improve skin blood flow and prevent from tissue and skin lesions. Improve the functioning of internal organs because you have an improved skill. It will improve metabolic functions, and finally, it decreases other things. Now, things developed later on. This is one of the devices that I was working on, where you can see with the device which came to the market and has 4-channel of electrical stimulation with surface, you can greatly improve the functioning, which we demonstrated first in 250 systems, 250 patients. And these are stroke patients. So a stroke patient activates a stimulator, and stimulator selectively activates the muscles, and the muscles are activated so that you have a 3-phase generation of functioning of flexors and extensors. And this system was also improved to increase what was shown here, and that's function in the hand, with control of the elbow joint. We were never able to control well. So this individual, he has shoulder control, but the elbow functions nicely. I don't have any doubts, at least my head doesn't have any doubts, that the best work ever done in the use of electrical stimulation for upper extremity follows the phenomenal work done by Hunter Peckham and his group, quite a few of those, who were working at in Cleveland at the university, and were designed. And these images combine. You have an implantable anode with 8 channels, you have electrodes that are here, which are stimulating individual muscles. You have an implantable controller, which is controlled this, and the actual unit to drive that is out of body, so you don't have to worry about the energy. So, what I wanted to tell you, external control of human extremities mating was a base and was a key point in activating joint efforts of the worldwide society to create devices, systems, and better understanding for individuals who unfortunately had an accident or had an injury which didn't allow them to function. This was developed in many other directions, and the week that people, including myself, spent in Dubrovnik was actually connecting to many other things, bringing together people who will develop little companies, build new devices, develop wearable technologies for measuring the gait, nicely explained in the presentation by today. So this was just a very simple and strong trigger. This trigger activated extremely good effort to organize meetings in Japan. So a series of meetings in Japan created a new world in Asia on how to assist people with excellent implantable technology. Professor Handa and his colleagues, many others, I wouldn't go into names now, they created a major movement to do and develop better things. The group from Vienna and Professor Winfried talked today. So That was a Vienna meeting which was running for many years. Neural prosthesis program at NIH had every second year a major meeting where things were discussed. So now you have a group in here, there's an yearly meeting, the annual meeting of neural prosthesis, meeting in Vienna, and all of that was interleaved and left fantastic results. And we are in the end of our career, but we have all these young, exceptionally clever and exceptionally brave people to tackle with these problems, so that the world, which is unfortunately rising in the numbers of people with disability, starts to live better. I'm sorry that I didn't participate in the way that it was programmed, but somehow I succeeded to learn that life is not always the easiest thing. But anyway, I want to congratulate all of you who took your time, to congratulate all of you to prepare excellent presentation, to thank very much to my friends, and I will divide these two friends into two groups. One group of friends are people who participate in the external control of human extremities, who demonstrated how that worked before and what are some of the results that they developed through their career. The second thing that I'm very proud of, the summer school that we had 3 days ago, all of the presenters are the students from schools that we had in Montenegro, and these summer schools were for them, I'm sure, a great experience. So building up the world, which will pick up and take at a high level in the mind, what you can do if you don't use only Google, but you actually go to a meeting, talk to people, build your knowledge on that, and definitely contribute to the world that is coming, is something that I dreamed of, and part of that dream is, or at least I believe, is coming true. So thanks for coming to the meeting, and I'm sorry that I missed that, because that definitely never happened to me. Thank you for your time, and now we will go to coffee if some questions are not there. Questions? I don't see, where is that?
Professor, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
I hope you heard the big round of applause you got, and it's of course for your lecture for sure, but it's absolutely for you. You managed to show us what human contact is. You're right. I mean, COVID taught us that digitalization can help us a lot, but can really not solve our problems. We need to meet in person, we need to have contacts. And you have shown us how you and your group of friends and colleagues, and I'm so humbled to have a few of them here. We have Professor Kralj, Dimitrijevic, Professor Bajt, and then Professor Merletti is here, and Winfred is here, Professor Meyer, and it's such an honor to see that, let's say, this group of friends managed to create history, probably on a beach, and through contacts with students, and then the students took on, and I must say, 2 days ago we had this summer school. When it started, we didn't know how it will go on, but I saw a few students who were not only engaged, they have very smart questions. They are still here sitting, and I think they might be the future. So maybe this is this meeting has a meaning. So we managed to you people managed to transmit knowledge. This is what you wanted, I guess. And I must say, I'm just happy to see you. We were waiting for this image for 3 days. And then I think we can give another round of applause to Popović.
you very much. I just want to say that I'm extremely happy that we succeeded in such a difficult time to organize a meeting in vivo with some online, and I hope that we will be able to continue the RoboMed event, and that we bring and attract more people and to build a new tradition. Because having a meeting in a nice summer place and build up a good conversation place with possibly enjoying some Malvasia or some other wine, or maybe even some food which kind of tasted like a fish. Those are the things that I believe will help greatly in doing whatever we do.
Great. I see that also the president of IFES wrote in the chat that she is honored to see you. So we are actually lucky.
Good. That's all. And I hope definitely that meetings that we will organize in the future will be even better tradition, and they will definitely allow me to participate in vivo.
Let's hope. As I said yesterday, you are one of my experience of resilience. So go on.
That's it. That's the only way to do things. One step every day, and we come to wherever we want.
True.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for letting me speak unannounced, and I'm looking forward to listen, Roberto. And I want to give my best regards to all of my friends who accepted the invitation that I absolutely greatly appreciate. There is nothing better than to see that friends that you have and we are ready to respond to your calls for good events.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.